Hello there, my fellow weary travelers. Andre Dion Moore, your Dark Nerd Rises. And I gotta tell you, I think this past couple of weeks, especially this week, has been one long October surprise, with the day before and yesterday being one that actually gave us a good little surprise, and then let alone reacting to some comments that he said about Liz Cheney. So, without further ado, let me go back to maybe 2 days before, and I think everyone has heard this one.
And my people told me about 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said, we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. I said, why? I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country. They said... They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say, pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them. I'm going to protect them from migrants coming in. I'm going to protect them from foreign countries that want to hit us with missiles and lots of other things.
Okay, first off, let's look at what he just said. Look at what he said about his advisors. That they told him and asked him not to say anything about women, or saying, because it will be real. They knew what he was going to say would be inappropriate. What does he do? He doesn't listen, as per usual, and he makes that statement. He wants to protect women whether they like it or not. Now, here's the thing. Let me give you some context, because he threw in something else. Byron Daniels, back on CNN, made a comment about, why they didn't play the full context of his speech before that, what he said before. Well, he brought up the case of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nongary, and I apologize if I pronounced that wrong, last name wrong, which was sad, which was wrong, because she was killed by two illegal immigrants that had come over. Now, here's the thing, though. The Trump presidency, the Trump campaign capitalized on that. And they were focusing on border, patrol policies. Well, here's one thing you got to realize. This happened months after when a bill was passed with bipartisanship to be signed and go into law effective immediately. Now, I might be wrong on that, but the thing is, I know it was a bipartisan bill drawn up by my own state senator, one of my own state senators, and if you guys remember, he's the one that killed it, just because it would have harmed them in the election before the election got started, because he wants to take all the credit and he wants to spread his hateful rhetoric. Because look what he said after that: the migrants, foreign nationals. Okay, that right there just shows you what Byron Donalds was trying to sit there and say on CNN, saying that you're not playing the whole story. You're not playing, you're only showing your narrative. Nope, it's not people or anyone showing a narrative. For him to sit there and say whether they like it or not, what if it wasn't about Border Patrol if he got into office? What if it was something else? If he says I'm doing this for your own protection, okay, I mean, number one, you are not the picture, perfect, picture definition of chivalry. So why are you trying to stifle when it comes to women's rights already, that you've already harmed with you striking down Roe v. Wade? You're going to make it worse by sitting here saying that, whether they like it or not. And a lot of women, and even Republican women, many of them, who actually could think, not the ones who are blinded and sit there and protect him, what does it take for those women to sit there and say, okay, well, you know what? I don't like what he said, but I'm still going to vote for him. No, this is where you're going to see the turnout for women because their voice is louder. Okay, their voice is a lot louder than what you think. And now, speaking of louder, here's another little post October surprise. Guys, sit there and say that, and then follow up with this. If any other candidate before in the past would have said this, it would have been disqualified, and they actually would be a pariah in the political arena and even in real life. Take a look.
And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter, but his daughter's a very dumb individual, very dumb. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know...
Yeah. 9 rifle barrels. Calling her dumb. Insulting her. Any strong woman that stands up to him, he will insult them. I mean, to sit there and insinuate any type of violence, I mean, and this is not the first time he has done this, people. Come on. You know what he has said before about when it comes to during the 2016 election. I mean, you know, he told people who to go out and vote for him if they don't want to, you know, fight someone, okay, if they voted for Hillary. Same thing with 2020. I mean, come on. Proud Boys, stand back, stand by. And then look what happened with January 16th. His use of hateful rhetoric and more than anything, dog whistles such as she should be shot, you know, calling the execution of his former generals, Bill Barr. He didn't give a damn about Mike Pence. He could get away with saying some of the most horrendous... Sorry, I got cut off. I had to delete words, but anyway, some horrendous comments that, again, if anyone else had said this years before, that's political suicide. So, I mean, or political unaliving. But, I mean, you just can't sit there and make people believe this, but yet I have a feeling there's going to be much more of a huge pushback after this, because if last month was a whole bunch of October surprises, this, you know, beginning of this month, this could be the November turkey. And, you know, why not get outraged by that, MAGA? Why not get outraged, you know, for comments like this, knowing that it will hurt him, and it should hurt him. And if you believe that, it should hurt you because you have been going along with that. And yet you're going to get upset over Biden's Freudian slip about being called garbage. Again, this is in 2016. All right. Throughout the last 9 years, you've been shown to be a basket case of deplorables. Well, right now, after the last 10 years, and we already had 4 years of him where we got to see a lot of deplorable acts and deplorable people that represented him. But right now, when the term garbage comes up, if the shoe fits, and yet you're going to get a little faux outrage because of this, because of that, you're going to act like this.
She's in office now, so she has the opportunity to enact these policies and affect change now, and she's not doing it. So if she really cared about us, which I don't think this administration does, she would do it now. I mean, we had Obama say we clung to our guns and religion, Hillary called us deplorables, and now Biden calls us trash. So that's what the left really thinks of us, and I think it's disgusting.
What do you think about that trash comment? You seem just like an average day woman, want to pay your bills, provide for your family. When he decided to call on that call yesterday on the web call you trash, what went through your mind?
I mean, we're just normal Americans that are trying to make a difference in the people around us in business. I'm a businesswoman. And to be called trash is just, it's degrading. That's really what they think of us is we're like deplorables and trash.
Hardworking, well, yeah, but you also have some intelligence somewhere in there, but yet you don't see it because you sit there and turn a blind eye to what he says. And especially, like, when someone like this has something to say.
Kamala Harris is the biggest threat to democracy, yes.
So then, by your logic, you're provoking violence.
If that's what it takes, then I guess so.
What? What you mean? Over the years, I have been to some wild Trump rallies, including the last one where an assassination attempt took place. So today, we don't know what awaits us, but let's go do it.
I started off as a Satanist, and I was hardcore against him and everything. I was a hardcore liberal and all that, but then my mom had started inviting me to church. Church was the main reason I started listening to him, because he was doing more of the things that I believed in.
Why would Trump be, if we think about sort of the principles Jesus stood for, why would Trump be the embodiment of that type of figure, a godly man? When he was found in a civil trial to have raped a woman, he talked about grabbing women by the you-know-what. He can't name a single Bible verse. He's been divorced twice. No record of him ever really going to church. Speaks about people like John McCain. Oh, he's not a hero because he was captured. I like people who weren't captured. Disparaging our veterans, suckers and losers. Making fun of disabled people. Is that really the Christian man?
Why believe the news? Why believe all the news?
He's a winner. He's a fighter, and he's going to take down Kamala.
Except for 2020. He didn't win then, right?
I still think that he did. Don't judge me. He won 2020. I don't care what anybody else says. I think he won.
You don't care what anyone else says, like all the courts and investigations and audits and recounts. And
Not one bit.
what's the most important issue in this election?
What's the most important about the election?
Yeah. Okay. And what would you say the most important issue is in this election?
The border.
Does it
The
bother?
economy.
Yeah. Does it bother you that Trump got Republicans to shoot down that border security bill?
No.
Top issue in this election, the safety of our country as a whole.
Does it make you feel good, or maybe more supportive of Biden-Harris, and now Harris, that crime has been plummeting under Biden?
No.
We got to finish that wall because it was working fine. And we got to get our liquid gold out from under the ground. And to the hell with the electric.
What would you say to the stat that we're producing more oil production now than any time in American history?
That's not valid. Keystone's not open.
Here's my question. I was just told, I was pounded over the head with a talking point, that the reason the assassination attempt of Trump happened is because people said he was a threat to democracy. Oh my gosh, people correctly identify that he's really bad for democracy. Somehow that caused a deranged person, who was a Republican, by the way, to do something terrible. And I agree it was terrible. Absolutely. So now you're saying Kamala Harris is a threat to democracy. Are you not provoking violence?
Kamala Harris is the biggest threat to democracy, yes.
So then, by your logic, you're provoking violence.
If that's what it takes, then I guess so.
What? What you mean?
Yeah. And you get offended by being called garbage. I wonder why. Enough said. Enjoy Agape. Hit and like the subscribe buttons to my channels on YouTube and here on TikTok. Your Dark Nerd Rises, Andre Dion Moore. Have a good day. Oh, and please go vote. Vote for democracy. Don't vote for autocracy. We are not going back. Enjoy.